Hi friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Glenny and today I want to introduce you guys to a somewhat new game that I have been recently playing called Hanako's Flower Shop. It is available on PC, currently on Steam right now. It's literally like the cutest, most coziest game that I have played in the last few days. This game, very narrative driven. It also blends with simulation and as well as floral arrangement, which I personally love to do. And it also talks about emotional topics. If you're not familiar with the game, you play as Hanako, who returns to her quiet hometown of Windy Falls after losing her job in a big city. With nothing but time and a tiny greenhouse and a past to unpack, she takes over her grandfather's old flower shop through foraging, gardening, and arranging gorgeous bouquets. Hanako reconnects with herself and the community around her. What I really like about this game is that there's literally no pressure, there's no time limit. You get to kind of just go through the day as fast or as slow as you want. Um, Again, it's very story driven, so a lot of it is conversations with the community or even conversations with your grandpa or with yourself. There's no stress, there's no timers. Even when you mess up, your character was like, I don't think this will work. I also like the fact that the flowers have specific meanings to them. So like I mentioned, because it is story driven, you really have to pay attention to the conversation between your character and the person that you're speaking to. And you have to kind of pick out and take notes when you're having these conversations to make sure that when you're arranging the bouquets, it you're conveying their emotion, if that makes sense. So I do like that the journey in itself is conveyed through flower arrangements. But I do like the fact that these flowers are not just something that's pretty, but it does symbolize a specific emotion. So far, the characters, without spoiling anything, the characters all have their own unique perspectives, personalities, their own background, their own story. A lot of them do touch on specific topics that we don't really talk about in games as often, but we can resonate as human beings, such as grieving, um, dealing with burnout, dealing with having to work super hard and impress your work, your boss, so that way you can get a promotion for your job, rediscovering joy, rediscovering yourself, the process of healing, things like that is what we go through on a daily basis, which I feel like when you are going through the story, you do get that emotional pull on specific characters or specific conversations, which I actually really appreciated. I actually really enjoyed that part. Of top of that, I also really enjoyed the visuals. It's a very cozy environment. It has a really nice watercolor aesthetic, which I actually really like. The ambient of it, there's like this piano that's playing in the background. It's very like relaxing, and the voice acting, you may pick it up if you really pay attention to it, but there are some partial voice acting in the conversations. Like you can actually feel the emotions when they do like have like converse with each other. I mean, like in the game, during the conversation, during the dialogue, like you can actually feel emotions, which I really like because some visual novel games, they lack emotion when they have those dialogues, which without the emotion you can't really resonate with the actual story or with the character itself. While this is a cozy game and it is more of the relaxed type, what are the things that it may not be as attractive to some people, which I, as much as I did enjoy it, I also find some things to be redundant, such as the pacing. It is a little quite slow because the focus is more of a visual storytelling novel type, there's not a lot that happens. Like there's not a lot of like customers going in and out of the shop. You kind of just like deal with one or two, and then some random stuff that happens, like delivery men coming in, your grandpa having conversations with you, um, the siblings coming in to drop off some flowers. There's not a lot of daily duties in terms of store management. So the dialogue is a little slow in terms of the story progression. So it might be too leisurely for some people if you're not into story novel type games. So if you're looking for something that's faster, that's more quick paced, like there's a lot of strategy involved, there's a lot of things that you need to do every day, this may not be a game for you. There is some choices in the dialogues that you can choose, but none of that really affects the story. I do wish that some of the choices that you make affects the progression somehow, or if you mess up on the bouquet, it you get like there's consequences to it, but there really isn't. Like it's very like slow. Um there's no stress like I mentioned in the beginning. So like the story in itself is very linear in that sense, where whatever choice that you make when the choices do pop up don't really make much of a difference. Routines on a day-to-day basis is it is repetitive, as most cozy games are, like your daily routines, but there's not a lot to do. Like, while I did like going to the forest or the garden, um, picking up flowers, for example, there's only 7 that you can pick out. So there's not much like exploring that you're doing. There's not a lot of like flowers to choose from. Like there's no diversity in that sense. But I also find that when you are looking for flowers to pick in the forest, um, you can't really, I don't know if it's me, if it's a me issue, but you can't really just like hover on the plant and it'll tell you what it is. You literally have to like bring your character to walk through it and then hover as you're walking through it, which it personally I thought it was really annoying. I wish you could just like hover on each of the flower and then get your character to walk through, because sometimes I have made the mistake of picking up a flower that I didn't need. Um, and then another routine that you have is obviously going to your garden, but that you're not really planting in terms of the gardening aspect of it. You're kind of just like putting the seeds in and checking on it daily. Like there's no like fertilizer, there's no watering needed or anything. Then you just pick out whatever that's grown. Another routine is that you order your flowers or your seeds, which is a little pricey in my opinion, but at the same time you are not having to spend a lot because you also have your neighbors, the 2 kids that drop off flowers for you. So it's not like you would really run out of flowers, but the routine is very, very repetitive. Like there's not much to do. Again, because it's very story driven, I can see why there's not much to do and it's more focusing on the narrative side of everything. But for people who want something mm, that is more exciting, this game may not be for you. So, is Hanako's flower shop worth adding to your collection? I think it all depends. Like, if you prefer and enjoy games such as Unpacking, Little to Left, Coffee Talk, or games that are mainly story based and you do find joy in the calm and passive, relaxing kind, then yes, I definitely think you should give this game a try. The dialogue and the conversations are very impactful and emotional. Again, I really enjoyed putting together the bouquets based on the conversations, and you are personalizing that bouquet because for that person. But if you want to be wowed at emotional cutscenes and dramatic flares and being busy and doing all this and doing all that, then it's definitely a game that you might want to skip. I would suggest trying out a demo first before purchasing it if you're not really sure. But my opinion, I did enjoy it, although I have to be in the mood for it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game. Have you played it? Is it a game that you would like to add on your wish list? Let me know in the comments below. If you like games such as this, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that way you'll never miss another Glenny Plays video. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!